Education Today. I'm Amanda Wenzel.
And I'm Kyle McWayne of West Shamokin High School in the Armstrong School District.
Every now and then you hear of some extraordinary happenings in the news, and sometimes what doesn't get covered enough are the great things that are happening in our schools. Tonight we are going to change that and bring to you information on a truly fantastic program that was the brainchild of ASD's own students. A special group came up with the idea and still have both the advisor and some students here to talk about it.
Welcome to Education Today. Would you please introduce yourselves, your grade, and how long you've been involved in SAD?
Me first. I'm Olivia Peters. I'm a sophomore and I've been in SAD for 2 years.
I'm Chris Schenk. I'm a senior and I've been in SAD for 4 years.
I'm Charlene Patterson. I'm a senior and I've been in SAD for 4 years.
And you said you all are in SAD, correct? So why did you decide to become involved in this group?
I actually didn't plan on joining SAD. My friends signed me up and I was just like, okay. And then I really liked it, so.
I kind of just joined SAD because my two friends, they were doing SAD and I was playing volleyball with them, so I kind of just followed them.
My brother just kind of drugged me to a meeting and he was really into it, so I figured why not, and I've been a member ever since.
What purposes and initiatives does this group serve?
SAD is basically something that I follow dearly, and we all pretty much stand for something that we make. So like we educate people on the bad choices and how to avoid them.
We try to steer kids away from drugs and how they have such a negative effect in your life, and we do reverse statistics. Instead of saying so many percent do drugs, we flip it around to compare it to how many aren't doing drugs. We try to give you a more positive outlook on things.
All right, and we're going to get to the main reason why we brought you in, but for right now, could you elaborate on other types of activities that SAD is involved in and the details to that?
We do a lot of different things throughout the year. Our main thing that we do is Safe Driving Day, and that's basically to educate people on the negative effects, the negative things that you can do while you're driving, like distracted driving, drunk driving, things like that. And we have a whole day set up for that, where we have different vendors, insurance companies, and we have a new game that was created by one of our members of SAD, and we just educate the students all day.
We also do Red Ribbon Week, which is an entire week dedicated to educating the kids on the effects of drugs. We do a Spirit Week, where it's a different thing every day, and we make a brick wall out of everyone's anti-drug, and there's always scavenger hunts, games, things to get the kids motivated to participate in what we're trying to get across.
How do students become involved in this club, and what are the expectations for ones who are involved?
To get involved, you just have to show up at a meeting, and we don't have many expectations. We don't turn anyone away. We just expect you to actually work. We don't want you to just show up and sit around and do nothing. It's not required you have to be in any certain level of something. I don't know.
And another thing with SAD is we don't turn people away because of if they're doing bad things. We're there to help people get better and things like that.
And I know you guys are busy being teenagers, obviously, so when do you guys have time to meet, and what are the expectations outside of school that you guys are doing?
Well, we meet there's the 9-period day now, so we have a specific day in the week that we can meet and we get some things done. And outside of when we have to meet, we all kind of we're all dedicated. Charlene and I, we have gone out asking for donations to make it to nationals and things. We're always calling different people, always talking to the Drug and Alcohol Commission, things like that.
For the most part, outside of school, it's more the officers who do the work. Outside of school, the other students don't do much unless we have a big assignment, like Safe Driving Day, where we need you to bring in, baked goods or something.
Donations.
What?
Just donations.
Yeah, donations and stuff. But for the most part, it's just officers that do the outside work.
Well, we've talked about some of the things you guys try to accomplish, and we've talked about what it takes to be a SAD member. Is there anything you'd like to mention about the club that was not covered already?
I would like to say that we have made it to the Pennsylvania SAD Chapter of the Year this year because of all of our hard work and dedication. Not just us, but all of our members in our club.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with the Armstrong School District's Education Today. When we come back, we're going to talk about a truly unique initiative that the SAD Club is responsible for, so stick around.
I'm Indiana County Sheriff Bob Fyhock. We are all proud of Indiana County, but we must be worried about the negative growth of drugs and alcohol abuse. It is the responsibility of all of us, parents, teachers, and community leaders, to provide the best possible education to our youth in the prevention of drug and alcohol abuse. The law is a deterrent, but education is still our best protection. Help keep Indiana safe and drug-free. For more information on how to talk to your kids about drugs and alcohol, go to the AboveTheInfluence.com, brought to you by the Armstrong, Indiana Drug-Free Communities Coalition.
Before I came to IUP, I had no idea what college would be like or what role I would play or where I'd be in the future. But when I came to IUP, everything changed. I met people who really made me feel like I belonged. I had great classes at a great nationally ranked university. Hi, my name's Megan Miller. I'm a fine arts major, and this is my university.
Hi, I'm Jen McCroskey. I'm a prevention specialist with the Armstrong Indiana Clarion Drug and Alcohol Commission. Hey parents, put your drug knowledge to the test. Attend a free teen scene program. Learn about signs and symptoms of drug use and abuse, current drug trends, resources for help, and view a large display of items where drugs can be hidden. For more information, call 724-354-2746, extension 309 to schedule a program today. Brought to you by the Armstrong, Indiana Drug-Free Communities Coalition.
We're back with Armstrong School District's Education Today. We're talking about the West Shamokin High School SAD Club, and we are joined by a few more students who are members.
Tell us about your current role with the district and how long you've been teaching.
I am a special ed teacher at West Shamokin High School, and I have been there for 10 years.
Why did you decide to become involved with this group?
Well, actually, my first year, I was asked by the club advisor at that time, and when she left, I stayed with the chapter, and I've been there ever since.
All right, and let's dive into this initiative and what is it called?
The Youth Ambassador Program.
What exactly is the Youth Ambassador Program?
The Youth Ambassador Program was designed to bring the 6th graders to high school, sort of bridging the gap from elementary to high school, allowing them to get to know the upperclassmen and hopefully making the transition a little less scary.
And out of all the ideas, like, why did you come up with this one? Like, how?
Actually, it was Vince's idea. There were a group of us that went to the Youth Leadership Conference through the Drug and Alcohol Commission last year at IUP, and we talked about positive messaging and how that influences teenagers and what we could do to improve the climate and the overall experience at our high school.
We're back with Armstrong School District's Education Today. We're talking about the West Shamokin High School SAD organization, and we are joined by a few more guests.
Would you please introduce yourself, your grade, and how long you've been involved in SAD, and how long you've been teaching, and what your part is in this?
My name is Vince Pastorini. I'm a senior, and I act as the chairperson of the Student Ambassador Program, and I've been in SAD for 3 years now.
And I'm Bridget Kennedy. I'm the advisor for SAD. I'm also a teacher at West Shamokin High School, and I've been advising SAD for 10 years.
Why did you decide to become involved in this group?
Actually, I was invited by the current advisor when I started at West Shamokin, and when they left, I continued with it because the mission is very important to me, and I like seeing the students doing positive things.
So let's dive into this initiative and what it's called.
It's the Youth Ambassador Program.
And what exactly is the Youth Ambassador Program?
Vince, why don't you explain?
The program is basically a stepping stone for our incoming 7th graders to be more acclimated with their high school careers. Western Milken does feed from 3 separate schools. So coming into one, you have a lot of stress on top of new people, and it just helps to lay the foundation for them to build upon. They get one ambassador to kind of like their friend and mentor throughout their year with questions and they have regarding their high school career.
So how did you come up with this idea?
Well, last year, I brought a group of students to the Youth Leadership Conference, which is held at IUP every year, sponsored by the Armstrong Indiana Clarion Drug and Alcohol Commission. And Vince and several other students had attended with me, and the theme was positive messaging. And so we met in groups and we talked about ways that we could promote positive messaging in our school, and looking at ways to change the climate to make it just a better place, a better overall experience for our students. And it was kind of interesting because probably 6 weeks before the conference, I had brought up a similar idea at a meeting at school, having a teacher-led mentoring program. And then without sharing that with the students, we were at the conference and they decided to do something even better because it's peer-led, and peer-to-peer education and intervention has proven to be far more effective than always listening to the adults in our lives.
How long has ASD had this program?
Well, the SAD chapter has been at West Shamokin for more than 10 years, but this is the first year for the Student Ambassador Program.
All right, and how do students become involved, and what are the expectations that you have for them to be involved?
To be involved, really, we try to pull in a variety of ambassadors because there's a variety of kids. You can't have all one kind of ambassador with a variety of kids to relate to them. Students are chosen based on grades, their performance in school, not so much just academic, but we have the sports kids, the kids who are involved in art, the kids who, no disciplinary referrals or anything like that, but we try to get a large span of kids to be in to these students, get with the right ambassador, and make that connection, which is very important.
The idea is to have a diverse group of ambassadors, and that way when the 6th graders are being paired up with their mentors, their ambassadors, there's somebody that's going to connect with everybody.
With students constantly graduating, how will this program continue from year to year?
Well, the nice thing about the program is that we have our senior ambassadors, which aren't necessarily seniors, but the senior ambassadors who are kind of in charge of that group of 7th graders, and then we have junior ambassadors. So while the senior ambassadors are mentoring the students, they're also kind of training the junior ambassadors so that they could step up and take that role the following year. Like I said, seniors don't necessarily have to be seniors. And junior ambassadors could possibly be 9th, 10th, 11th grade, but they've had 1 year of experience under their belt once they move up the following year.
So from year to year, the program is continuously keeps rolling. It never has an opportunity to stop.
Now, with this only being the first year, so there's still some complications, I'm sure, but what kind of training and other criteria do you have for the students to go through to be a part of this program?
We do have someone come in who does peer mentor training, and the students learn how to talk to the younger students. They know what situations are kind of like red flag situations. If a 7th grader says something to an ambassador, they know that that's something that they need to pass on to one of the faculty members or a guidance counselor at school. It's very exciting to see this at work because they went through the training and we have our meetings and discuss what we're going to do. But it's gone beyond just when we meet with the 7th graders. I just had 2 students come to me yesterday and say that they were concerned about a 7th grader and it was something that they thought we should look into. So it's nice that they take on this role as kind of big brothers and sisters. They're looking out for them. And when you have as many students in high school as we do, it's nice to have the extra eyes and ears watching out for the new ones that maybe aren't comfortable with expressing how they feel or if they're struggling with something.
How many students are involved in the program, and how many incoming students will it affect?
We have 30 senior ambassadors, which each have selected their own junior ambassador. So there's a total of 60 ambassadors, and every 7th grader is assigned a couple, one junior, one senior, and it'll affect the entire incoming class next year.
Now, with seniors and the juniors and the 7th graders that are all tied into this program, have you had any feedback with it, like good things, bad things, things that we need to work on, like any type of feedback?
There were a couple of meetings that we had that were kind of scheduled last minute. We struggled with being able to fit regular meetings into our schedule because we do have a lot that goes on at West Shamokin. So to be able to fit that in during the school day was difficult at the beginning. So students were concerned that sometimes they felt like at the beginning it was a little bit chaotic. And for the first year, yeah, a couple of times it was, but I think that the ambassadors did a great job pulling together, filling in for each other when they had to be at testing or there were absences or there were other meetings going on. And now West Shamokin has instituted a 9-period day, so we have an activity period every day of the week. And that allows us to put the ambassador program into a more consistent rotation.
And even though the program has its little bumps along the road, we've gotten a lot of feedback because it is something that is very new. Nothing like this has ever been attempted before. It's not only the teachers, it's the parents, it's the 6th grade teachers, even the students. You know, I've had many parents walk up and sincerely thank me because their student now feels comfortable with going to high school. And it's a big thing. If you don't feel comfortable when you first enter, you're not going to learn well. You're not going to set a strong foundation to build upon. So that's totally worth it for that.
Yeah.
And the teachers seem to really appreciate it too. We do have an OWL binder, which is an organization system that we use with 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And the ambassadors help the 7th graders keep that organized, which frees up some time in the reading classroom because it's typically the reading teachers who monitor how the students are doing with their organization skills. The teachers have come to us and said, we've noticed this with these kids, could you talk to their ambassadors? So it shows me that they have put value on the program as well. I think my favorite part though is when the 7th graders come running up to me and say, Mrs. Kennedy, we haven't met with our ambassadors in 2 weeks, are we going to get to meet with them today? And so they definitely look forward to seeing the upperclassmen. Let's face it, when we were in 7th grade, you know, seeing the seniors, they were so cool and they were so like celebrities to us. And now they get to be friends with you guys and they really enjoy that.
It's funny, like the senior ambassadors walk down the hall and they greet the kids. The kids know them. Even if they're their ambassador, they know them. They're in their color group. They work with them on something else. They're more than just a big scary senior. They're a friend. They don't, and we're the highest there is. So that makes everybody else below us, even that, seem more approachable. Because, you know, and it helps with the kids too. One day when they're a senior, they can look back and say, wow, that program really helped me. So that, like, to keep it going, once this 7th grade class eventually reaches a stage where they can become a junior ambassador, I think there'll be a lot of initiative there for the kids to want to do it because they were the first couple classes to actually partake in it and saw the positive results that it could produce.
With all these positive results and all this great feedback, I'm sure it had something to do with this year's SAD being recognized by the state. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. November, we went to Seven Springs for the state conference, and we had entered our chapter for several awards, including Activity of the Year for the Ambassador Program, Activity of the Year for Safe Driving Day, which is coming up in a couple of weeks at West Shamokin, and that's a full day of activities that focus around the driving task. It's so comprehensive. There's really no other school that we're aware of that does something this big for student drivers. And we also applied for Chapter of the Year. And they announced Activity of the Year first. And I don't think I've ever been so nervous. And I was sitting there, and when they didn't get it, they didn't announce our name, I was very disappointed because I thought for sure these two programs are amazing. And then they started talking about the chapter of the year, and they talked about the fact that our chapter has something that we do every month. We don't simply focus on Red Ribbon Week and prom. We take the SAD mission seriously, and we look at no drinking and driving, other drug use, no distracted driving, looking at teen violence, teen suicide, bullying, all of those things, and we work on that throughout the year. At any given time, we have some kind of campaign running. And they said that, and they talked about this chapter having something going on every month, and then they announced us. And it was wonderful because, like I said, I've been doing this since 2004, and the students, including the seniors that graduated last year because it was the 2013 chapter of the year, have been the best group of students that I've ever worked with. Their dedication and their commitment to the mission of SAD and to each other and to empowering their peers and bettering our school is absolutely unmeasured.
Is there anything else that we haven't covered about SAD or the ambassador program that you guys want to inform or share with anyone else, like upcoming events, anything new that you're planning for next year, maybe later in the year?
Well, we do have Safe Driving Day coming up, and it's something that receives local coverage with the local radio stations and the newspapers. I really hope to see some of the bigger media cover it, because it's something that I would like to see happening in more schools. We're hoping to see the ambassador program move into other high schools in our district as well, and I think it's a good thing. And you know, if somebody wants to start a SAD chapter or start an ambassador program, they can email me at West Shamokin. I'm happy to share anything that I have.
Yeah, the program really there. SAD is a very unique club in a way that the kids aren't so much there to put it on a college resume. The kids are there because they want to be there, because they want to make a difference, because they see that the club does make a difference, and that makes all the difference in a club to be able to function that way versus, you know, clock your minutes in for student council or Leo. Those clubs are, you know, they're very important. Don't get me wrong, but SAD serves an alternative purpose because the students and our Mrs. Kennedy are really here because they want to be here and they want to make a difference in the school and the community.
Well, SAD's probably the only club that you could say could truly make a difference in saving someone's life.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Miss Bridget Kennedy, a teacher here in the Armstrong School District and advisor to the WSHS SAD organization, and student members Chris Schenk, Charlene Patterson, Olivia Peters, and Vince Pazzarini. Our thanks also go out to the TV production students of West Shamokin High School, led by their teacher, Miss Karen Coulter. They were our film crew today. Please join us again next week for another look into the Armstrong School District. Visit our website for updated information about the district and have a great week.